Z-317 codename Eyefestation was a bull shark used in the BUPWM program. The BUPWM program was an experiment to allow an individual to kill someone telepathically through eye contact by beaming highly radioactive waves through a victim's optic nerve, causing their brain to melt inside of their head. The experiment consisted of gouging out the eyeballs of the patient, placing them in a jar of genetically altered rotten coral for 18 hours, injecting the now rotten eyeballs with 20 milliliters of Z-317, before surgically implanting them back into the patient. For the procedure to work properly, the patient must be conscious the entire time and must not be put under the effects of anesthesia, painkillers, or any other forms of drugs that alter the patient's brain chemistry. Z-317 is the first successful experiment from this program. Whilst the experiments on Z-317 worked, the side effects were considered unacceptable. The obvious problem was the ludicrous amount of new eyes on the body's exterior, as well as the interior. An X-ray showed that the entirety of its insides was infested with eyes, all moving. Another side effect was all the eyes would become neon green, and have its circular pupil replaced with that of an X. Not all side effects are bad, however. An unaccounted side effect is that Z-317 can telepathically force someone to look at it, eye contact or not. However, it's a weak pull that can be fought back by the victim, and it becomes incredibly obvious for the victim to know that they're in its gaze. Still, this side effect is considered to be acceptable. Agents in field have been advised to try and use the pull only if in an emergency when trying to exterminate a target. Whilst the whole eye growth issue has since been ironed out, the green cross-eye side effect is not. For now, agents that have undergone a BUPWM procedure are given contact lenses to cover up their horrific defects. Due to how painful these modifications are, only 16 agents so far have gone through the procedure. 5 hours and 34 minutes into the lockdown, Z-13 opened Z-317's containment cell, letting it swim out into the ocean. Instead of trying to leave the let-van zone, or the area in general, Z-317 stayed near the black site, looking through the windows and trying to find people to kill. It is currently unknown why it's doing this, but it's assumed that it's out of malice and/or hatred. Z-317 was already scheduled for extermination, and will be hunted down once the lockdown is dealt with. If any operative is to encounter Z-317 outside the window of the room they're currently in and feel the effects of its gaze, they should fight it until they can get out of the room. Z-317 will normally try to attack in areas with lots of open space for itself and free of our smart minds. When Z-317 finds a window with victims inside, it'll stay at that window until it kills its victim, or the victim somehow manages to make its way through the room, after which, Z-317 leaves in search of new prey. Z-317 seems to see all humans as threats, and will try to kill anyone it sees, no matter their role. Addendum. An as of yet side effect has been discovered. Personnel that have since returned to the surface have reported that after Z-317 had spotted them, a voice in their head was telling them to look directly into Z-317's eyes. Reported voices trying to persuade them include relatives, loved ones, HQ, high commanding officers, and co-workers. Do not listen